Director, and good evening everyone that has joined in. Good evening members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be very brief, but we wish to make pertinent pronouncements, and we'll start with an issue that's close to our hearts. And because we saw the President and the Defense Forces making a statement that they will not condone violence, and I want to place it on record that only yesterday UPND cadres attacked us with guns and knives and hangers, as I posted on my page. And we reported to the police in Matero and in George, and we did not take the docket, but today they called and said, come and do the docket. But, no, I will not do the docket because when a report is made, the police are supposed to follow up those that are suspected and arrest them. And also, even if I do the docket, chances are the case may not go anywhere because those elements, known elements of the UPND will go scot-free. We've been through this. But we shall not be intimidated, and we will keep exercising our democratic right to speak to people within the law, and will not fear anyone. They've tried before to attack us. They've tried before. In the last general election, they knifed me, and at the rate things are going, they want to do it again. But our only protection is from the Almighty God, and will always protect us. We fear them not. And if the police won't protect us, ideally we're capable of protecting ourselves, but we leave it to the Lord to deal with them. If violence is what wins an election, surely the PF would have triumphed in 2021. So if the UPND think they'll come with violence in 2026 and using violence win, the people that we were with in George yesterday when they attacked us, you think they are happy? They were booing them and throwing stones at them, and you think they'll give them the vote, the ones who attacked them. Old women with children on their back had to run away from this violence. Typical. Looks like the worst that was happening in the PF was that we all condemned, and UPND condemned in 2021, cadres, violence. They seem to have envied that, and they're doing copycat exactly, coming back with the same violence and thinking that will win them election one. I saw even some ministers, certain things that some ministers were doing wrong. Some of the UPND ministers, they came and started doing exactly the same things, behaving in the same way, chilling in the same way, hanging out in the same way. They were envying those who were doing those things, and they come and do exactly the same thing, same of the same. So that's on violence. But tomorrow I'll cooperate, and because the police called me, I'll go and give a docket to Matero, and let's see if they will arrest those people. He's a well-known cadre of UPND in Matero and in Lima. Is called Joe Boma, and you know Boma means, his first name is Joe, his last name is government. Boma means government. He terrorizes the hell out of everybody in George there at Kalingini Market. And when they saw him, they even said, Abuela Uyo. And for sure, he comes out with a gun and with knives, with pangas, and everyone scampered. And they beat whoever they could, tore our people's t-shirts and whatever, but that as it may be, did it bring them votes there? No, it just lost them votes. So we'll see if the police will arrest him. Now let me go to the real issue, why I've called this press conference, because it's pertinent and it has to do with the PF. Allow me to state that the PF lost the general election in 2021. August, exactly 5 years now about, and we had been in power for 10 years. Now where we are 5 years later, a lot of things have happened in the PF. And when I look back, one of the biggest error we've made as PF is wanting and thinking we can retain power in the next general election. So we lost in 2021, and then we want to retain power as PF in the next general election in 2026. When when MMD lost in 2011, they too wanted to retain power in 2016, and we know what happened to them. When UNIP lost in 1991, by 1996, KK and everybody wanted to go back into government by any means, and they were pushing, and we know what happened. Trouble of having press conference at home. My daughter is clapping. The loss in Africa everywhere, when government lose, it appears now to me, is because we want to come back instant in the next election. And there's price to pay for that. And indeed, internally and otherwise as PF we paid the price. Everybody knows where the PF is now. The issues that have been happening with the PF leadership, betrayal, treachery, here we are now. The same things we are seeing them happening in FDD. The same things we are seeing them happening in the Part X, Part Y, Part Z. Then people realize that no, Miles was not the problem. It's the system or whoever, and treachery and external factors, individuals we can only control so much. But that's it. So everything I've been trying to say, that everything that the PF has undergone is purely because we lost power. When you lose power, there's a price to pay for it. And the rest, that was the real problem. Everything else is just a side effect. If you got a malaria bug, malaria has hit you. If you have a temperature, it's side effect. If you have a headache, it's side effect. If you vomit, it's side effect. If you have no appetite, it's side effect. So the problem is we lost elections. These internal battles, or this and that, treachery within the party and outside, they're all side effects. My role and my ambition is to make the PF survive. And the PF will survive. No matter how long it takes, my role, the role I'll play and I've been trying to play, is to make the PF survive. I don't wish to be part or play a role that will make the PF distinguish like the UNIP did. Make the PF distinguish like MMD did. And that means we don't do exactly the same as they were doing. We should not be foolish. And scientists defined being foolish is doing the same things over and over the same way and expecting different results. I think that was Einstein who said that. You do the same things all the time and you expect different results. So we want to, immediately after losing elections at the ruling party, the next election you want to fight as a ruling party to come back in power. Those who did that, you need MMD, they suffered huge consequences. So I want to be part of making sure that we do things differently and tactically. And with that, I want to announce, after consultation with various key stakeholders within the party, I have very key stakeholders who I respect, and they are very senior in the party. And after those consultations, and also my personal belief, and also key members of the Central Committee I've already consulted with, I want to officially announce that the Patriotic Front will not participate on the presidential ticket for 2026. So the PF will not field a candidate. So the PF will not sponsor a presidential candidate. I want to repeat, for the August 2026 election, the PF will not sponsor a presidential candidate. The PF will not field a presidential candidate, just so to give us room to rebuild the party and start afresh. When you fall from there, you don't start from there. You start lower and build up. The building of the PF is a long-term project. It's it should have been a 10-year, 20-year project from 2021 after we lost, but it was short-termed. We wanted results immediately until this next election. With hindsight, we are making the PF a 10-year project to rebuild from ashes of losing in 2021 and rebuild. We will possibly look at 2031 for the presidential ticket. The question is, what will you do? We'll look at how we'll participate and potentially, possibly we'll look at participating as MPs, as members of parliament in selected constituencies, and also as councillors. From MP to councillor, we could participate in certain selected constituencies. To what extent will we endorse anyone? Today, no, we are not endorsing any presidential candidate as PF. Maybe in due course. This will be to the determination of the Central Committee and of the PF and key stakeholders of the PF, trustees and senior members of the PF, so to speak. That's where we are, and if we do endorse, that will be after thorough consultation among key stakeholders, and that will be in due course. It will not be tonight, it will not be tomorrow, possibly will not even be till nominations are closed, but at some point we could do it, or we could just concentrate on those MPs and councillors and mayors and council chairperson that will field. So that was the purpose of this press conference, is essentially to state that the PF will not participate. I'm joined here by the Tiende Alliance partner, president of his party, Brian Mutare, and basically stating what I have, and welcome my brother, and that's where we are. I can take one or two questions and we'll conclude. And remember, it's PF that I've stated. Yes. Basically because that's what been the submission from key stakeholders. Don't forget, PF is one big family which has fragmented in many nomenclatures. Tonse Alliance is PF grouping. Pamozi Alliance of Makebi Zulu is PF grouping. Tonse Alliance of Brian Mundwiles is PF grouping. CF of Harikalaba, that is a PF origin. That said, but within, we have key stakeholders. Never rule out Honorable Given Luvinda. May I put it on record that I am the legal president of the PF, but I must put it on record that Honorable Given Luvinda can be called a default president. PF possibly has many presidents, but I am the legal president. Don't forget, there is more than 4 judgments in the High Court of Zambia and 1 in the Constitution Court. and indirectly 1 or 2 in the appeals courts that ratifies that Miles Sampa is the president of the PF, the legal president. There's no dispute on that. Wherever there's been disputes, the court have ruled that Miles Sampa is the president until 2028. So that is not under dispute. Even those who've appealed, they have the right to appeal, but that has not changed the fact that Miles Sampa is the president. If anybody would ever disagree with that, I can give them 1 judgment, 2, second, third, fourth, almost 6 judgments. And when the court rules, that's law. And no one can dispute with that. They can only appeal until a ruling is made, but that decision made that Miles Sampa is president until 2028 is valid. But I've been cognizant that where we've come from in the last 5 years, we suffered so many mishaps, unintended, and caused fragmentation. And with the demise of our president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, may he so rest in peace, I still continue to pray and hope that it can be put to rest sooner than later, but that's beyond my jurisdiction or my influence, so I can only watch and hope that we can put him to rest sooner. But for all the disposition on President given Luwinda, he is the de facto. De facto means for all intents and purposes, because President Lungu left him there as caretaker. President Makebi also in his own right, he's the president of Pamoja Alliance, PF Pamoja Alliance. Honorable Mundivida also in his own right is the president of PF Tonse Alliance. So there's all these presidents, but for me, I respect all of them. And for me, I'm the legal president also in this line. And for me, I wish unity. But for me, I want to put it on record that I recognize President given Luwinda as the moral or de facto president of the sector. So that's why I consult him a lot. I also consult Chishimba Kamwili. Don't forget, he was one of the pioneers of the PF and he's been around for a long, long time. So when you ask me what has precipitated this, it's consultation with everyone. So where I am, decisions that I announce and make is not decisions that must please me. If that was the case, I would have been a candidate easy. I would have raised is it 100,000 they were paying? And I would have raised 1,000 people around the country easy. But no, I realized this may not be the time for what I want, or the time to be the one to cement what the other stakeholders within this grouping of the opposition want. I'm possibly one that has met nearly all those players. I've had a meeting with President Kalala in public and otherwise. Recently, I've had a meeting with Tonse leader, President Brian Munduvile, in the recent past. Even President Makebi, not directly, but through his people, we've had virtual meetings. I've had a meeting right here with Fred Membe, President of Socialist Party, and I've not made it hidden agenda. I've had meetings with President Brian Tare here, and we've made it public. That's how we've united as Tiende Alliance. So I've been consulting and speaking with everyone. The only people I've not had a meeting with is the ruling party, because I choose and I am in the opposition. Democracy thrives with the opposition. The donors, everybody out there, if there's no democracy in Zambia, if there's no opposition, it's not going to go well for this country. I'm appealing now to President HH and the ruling party. They must play democracy and beat opponents by the vote. The same way they beat the PF in 2021. It was through the votes. They were in the opposition. If they did it then, even now, they should do it through that process. Make their opponents lose through the ballot, and not when they are in power. Then they're trying to stop their opponents by stopping them from being on the ballot. So my appeal is they should let us file the MPs that we want to. They should let President Brian Mondvila and his alliance file as a candidate as he wishes, together with Makebe as they wish. They should let Harry Karawa file. They should let Fred Membe file, and any other presidential candidates that have come forward. Then, like they did in 2021, they should go battle it out in the 10 provinces, appealing to the residents or the citizens and the registered voters of around 8 million, and convince them and beat the opponents that way. Or the opponents will convince the voters to not vote for them. But this, what we are seeing, using the ECZ, the Electoral Commission, using the Register of Society to prevent participants, is not democracy. And we're calling on the donors to take keen interest. I do know, I worked at the Ministry of Finance. Most of these budget support are linked to good governance. They have to see that you are governing your country properly. And surely, if the elections they will go on, like in Tanzania, without opponents, look at what's happening in Tanzania. What did President Her Excellency Sahuru, the lady, achieve by bullying the opposition, put them in jail, prevent them from participating? I was there monitoring those elections. Nobody was allowed to participate, and they went with victory. Where has it ended up? The donors are cutting their support to Tanzania. She can hardly attend meetings at the AU, at the UN, or everywhere without being picked on. She hardly even goes. So is that where President HH wants to be? Afterwards, he bullies, stops his rivals, and he wins, and then the region will be laughing at him. The entire Africa will be laughing at him. We know what happened in Malawi, in Botswana, in elsewhere. Democracy prevails, and Zambia, we are known for respecting democracy. Since KK, he handed over peacefully. Wherever we go in Africa, KK is applauded. MMD also lost under Arabi. May Arabi so rest in peace. Despite him crying, losing, it hurts. He handed over to Saki. Arabi's name, whenever it comes up everywhere, people miss him and love him. Edgar Lungu, may so rest in peace. Even him, he was sure, and we were sure would win, but the people decided and gave the vote to President HH, and he went and handed over Chiros there. Here now, the biggest thing people remember about his tale is that he handed over power peacefully, and when his name comes up, people love him and miss him. Now, does HH want to be the one to be remembered that he does not allow democracy? President Edgar Lungu in 2021 allowed democracy. I'm aware there were people who were telling him, no, stop this election, use the army, use the police. I'm aware, and he said, no, let the people's will prevail. And he handed over power. It's unfortunate he's died, may he so rest in peace. But that's the appeal to President HH. And yet, UPN tells us they are very popular. So may they allow Zambians, and Zambians don't like to stop them. Allow them to choose amongst all those who have applied. When Roosevelt, Simboyata, to help them fight, allow them. Whoever wants 30 of them. In Tanzania, I think there were 60. In Uganda, there are 60. Allow them and beat them to the ballot. And don't stop them using the ECZ. That's the appeal to the ECZ chairperson, Madam Zalomis, and the CEO, Mr. Kasaro. Even Register of Society. Don't be the ones being abused to stop people from participating. Let the game be played, and you are saying HH has performed. Let him exhibit that through the results. Now you are on a pole position yourselves. You are saying, no, we're in front. But then Nambalas wants to start. You are saying, don't start the race. But why are you fearing? You're already in front. So that's my appeal. Let the people participate. Let Zambians choose who they want, whoever that is. Let them vote. Stop the violence. No violence has ever won any political party. Unipia had the vigilante in 1991. They used to beat those people. What happened? Results came. Unip lost badly. MMD had cadres. They used to beat. What happened? We won as PF. PF were cadres who were violent. What happened? We lost. So even UPND, if you want to advance violence, the president and the army commanders issue a statement that they will not condone violence from the opposition or the ruling. The proof is in the pudding. We were attacked in Matero. Evidence in there. We filed in for just greeting the people. Whenever I go in Matero, they know it's me. They come where I am and they greet me. And I was telling them my term was finished. Before we could finish it, UPND people came with guns, brandishing a gun. We reported, have those people been arrested? Well-known chap is called Joe Bomo. So let what the statements are made by the president and the armed commanders, armed forces commanders, to be followed by action. That Matero incident is there, reported at Matero police station. It doesn't need to wait for me to go and file a docket. No, we've told you attacked us. The evidence is there. Thank you very much. Again, the summary of it has been said, and we'll call another press conference if we need to in due course. Thank you. Any other question before we close?
Maybe you'll have to appeal to your members, especially those who were obviously on your side, thinking you're going to be a candidate from your side. What direction would you give to them?
It's just to say that everything that is said and done is in the best interest of the party. The party must come first. The party called PF now is gone through a lot. It's even lost its president, Edgar Lungu, who is still yet to be buried. The party remains in mourning, and what I've announced today is not, I agree with it, but it's a decision by key stakeholders of the party. I foresee, come what may after the general election, all this fragmentation of the PF will still unite. Remember the Somuto Alpwata Witika. It only means if you are one big family of this organization called PF, even if you fall off, you still come back. And many a time, Kambwile has been one of those. He's fallen off, but he still come back. I've been one of those. I'm speaking from experience. I've fallen off and gone my way, but I've still come back. And I see my colleagues, some of them doing similar things. Can't stop them, let them go, maybe to wait for them, but maybe they'll realize. But I see that the PF will reunite. So everything I've said is in the best interest of the party, called the PF, and it's not in my best interest as a person. If I put myself first, I would have possibly decided different. So it's just, if you love the PF, this is the best decision. We don't need to field the presidential candidate as PF in this 2026. But where we can, we should field the MPs, mayors, council chairperson, and councillors. It reminds me, allow me to make this announcement, but that by powers vested in me as the undisputed president of the PF, you need to bring me anyone that is disputing and not president. How that happened is irrelevant now. What matters is the judgments. I'm president of the PF until 2028. Using powers vested in me, Article 61, I announced a decision that was made a week or two ago that we have appointed a Deputy Secretary General of the party. We have a Deputy Secretary General Politics, who is Edwin Lifotelo. But then we have appointed the Deputy Secretary General Administration, and that is Petronella Nkumbula. Petronella Nkumbula is based in Kasama, and she's now our Deputy Secretary General of Administration. So that's an announcement that I wanted to make clear on air now. It should be recorded as so. So we have two Deputy Secretary General. Edwin Lefekero, long-time founder member of the PF, and we have Petronella Nkumbula from Kasama as another Deputy Secretary General of the PF. That said, allow me also to say the PF continues to be broken down in legal matters in the High Court and in the Appeals Court. I must say that we'll continue pursuing those legal matters until we get justice for the PF. Where we've won, they have appealed, and we're still fighting in court. Where we don't win, we'll appeal until finally justice prevails for the PF, and that the PF remains with the people and the majority, the grassroots. And I believe that justice will prevail ultimately for the PF. It may not be now, but it will prevail. That the powers of the PF will remain with the people and people that want to do good for the PF. So we'll continue pursuing the justice system, the judiciary, and where we win, we appeal, we will defend, and where we don't win, we will file in appeal until we reach the apex of the judiciary. We'll go all the way to the Crown Court if need be. We'll go all the way to the Supreme Court if need be, no matter how long it takes, until PF is rescued from those that want to harm it using the judiciary and using the court cases. And I believe it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen today, tomorrow, it will happen one day. And until it happens, mine is to save the PF and keep it intact. The PF will not be on the ballot in August 2026. But one day, 2021 or beyond, it will be on the ballot. When it does be on the ballot, it will be victorious for presidential election. But for lower positions, MP, mayor, council chairperson, and councillors, this election in August, some areas will be on the ballot and will fight. Thank you very much, journalists. Thank you very much, dear listeners, and everybody that tuned in. God bless you. The PF lives forever. Nobody will kill the green ghost, we call it. And you will remain PF and PF forever. Thank you very much. Good night. Tell us your name and where you've come from.
So my name is Vino Changu.
Okay.
I'm coming from Serenji, Shindawat.
Okay, what brings you to Lusaka? You went to the secretariat, you didn't find me, now you've come home. What brings you here?
Right. I think we had made an appointment, meeting you, and this is why I'm here because I'm an aspiring candidate there as a councillor in Shindawat. So, the request is...
How far is it from Serenji town?
Shindawat? I can say about 50 kilometers.
What do you do there?
I'm just a business person on that side, not really an employee.
You're a businessman, finish your station.
Okay. What I do is I own a shop.
What do you sell in the shop?
Boutique.
Shop for?
Yes.
You buy from where?
Nakonde.
Nakonde?
Yes.
Okay. Serenje mwala babemba babiza na balala?
Nabalala abakwesu. Ndi mulala.
Uri mulala? Okay. Balanda chanta balala kuilala kwa shashani?
Kuilala ekwesu.
Kuilala ekwesu?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Since you are very proactive,
yes,
and by powers vested in me by Article 60 of the PF Constitution, Tuanakupera adoption certificate.
Wow.
Where no whether wangu and follow through what is required. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Give me Mr. Vinwell He was a footballer Watson Chango, I think Zambia national team.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, Nishtaura Fiaro Sani.
Yeah.
NRC?
29
Mm-hmm.
/12 /1.
Okay, please.
Yes.
What the name of what?
Muchinda.
Chinda what? Yours truly signed. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Your adoption certificate
Thank you so
on the
much.
PF.
Thank you so much.
Good luck
Thank you.
and best wishes. We'll
Thank
come
you.
and help you campaign.
Thank you so
I
much.
bless you and I'm sure, very confident that you win.
Very much.
Okay, Sani.
Great.
All the best.
Thank you, Honorable. Sure.
Councillor, incoming Councillor Mchinda Ward, Serenje District, Central Province, Kwilala.
Ekwesu. Yes.
Ekwesu life.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Sani.
Now, Honorable, I need now pictures from my phone.
No problem, no problem. This group